guys? It's us here, Mario Kart Madman, and today we're here for our Madman Podcast. Number 3. I am joined by her, him, and her. We all know this by now.
We do know it.
Hello.
We do know it. That is a known quantity. Yes.
So we're going to change it every time. Her, and him. Him, her, and her. Her, him, and her.
You're correct, her.
Yes, all right.
Let's start off with a bang. Capcom confirms that Newcomer Kimberly and fan favorite Jury are coming for the roster of Street Fighter 6. That game will release next year. And Kimberly will also mark the very first time a female African American character is playable in any Street Fighter game.
That's fantastic.
It's pretty good.
Thoughts?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's having that representation is nice in a video game. I feel like they're making a lot of steps in the right direction with these types of things.
Yes.
That's good.
It's long overdue,
Absolutely.
but as long as it's happening, then excellent.
Yeah, I think I saw that trailer. I gotta tell you, man, Street Fighter 6 looks
Pretty
fire.
wild.
Yeah.
It's got story mode too. It's like
Yeah,
open
it
world.
looks really good. I mean, the open world looks a little janky. I hope they have to make
Work
that
on
look
that.
better.
You know what is janky? The logo. The Street Fighter ones always look so nice, but the 6 thing is cool that they did.
No,
but
I
the
like
plain
it.
white, it looks a little bland when you put it next to other ones.
I don't know. I feel like they so far with Street Fighter 6, they've been knocking it out the park.
It's a clean slate.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. They're trying to like a plain dude. What they're trying to do is make everyone forget that they screwed us all and was PlayStation exclusive instead of letting everybody else play the game. So since that didn't work out for them the way they
So
thought
how
it
is
was,
this-
now
how
they
is
came
it
back
coming?
crawling.
Okay, so it's for
It's for
every
everything
system
now.
Okay, including Nintendo?
No.
Well,
it's,
no.
it's too weak.
The Switch is...
Nintendo doesn't want it. They have Super Smash.
Oh, they take it.
That's
They
why.
do.
Yeah, you know, what we need to do is we need to make a topic of just why haven't they
Got
made
it.
damn Switch Pro?
Oh. I don't know. The problem is that they have 3 Switches already on the
But that's
market.
what we have to. That's okay. We need to make that a topic
get a
another
go to the
time.
market.
Another time. But that's a big deal because this is what happens.
So
Street Fighter 6 is only coming to the major platforms.
Okay, so the
And
Street
PC.
Fighter 5 was exclusive to
Well,
Like,
technically
and
it was on
It
PC,
was on PC too.
but what I'm saying is that
Console exclusive.
between
yeah.
PC and PlayStation, they shit the bed. You know, like it wasn't enough. Not enough people played it, and it's because they made everybody on Xbox annoyed.
So it's such an old game. It's so classic. It looks. It has that style of graphic. It should be something that it's not everybody's cup of tea. So it should be something that they should just put on everything they can.
Yeah, him played Street Fighter 2 in the arcades when he was younger.
Mhm.
Yeah, I played the originals, Super Nintendo, and it was great.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not one of those people who thinks that just because it's a old game that it should be everywhere. Like if PlayStation had bought Capcom and it's their company, right? It's their studio, and they make it exclusive, that's fine. I think the biggest problem is that they just bought exclusivity for no reason. You know, like purposely to not let anybody else play it.
No,
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's a
that's
business
dumb.
decision, right?
Nah.
If you think about it, it's a classic game. People may be excited to get a new game for it, right? So they figure if we invest on this, we might get good,
Yeah, I don't know.
nice amount of profit from it. And I mean, PlayStation is known to have some great exclusives like
Oh, of course.
Spider-Man,
God of
right?
War.
Yeah, but that's their
God of War,
own. They're also
Uncharted.
buying. So I think the times are changing, but PlayStation's not. So like, the world is going into a phase where it's like, listen, if you buy the company, then it's yours, right? Then everything's exclusive. We don't care. I don't care. The game has been on every system in the world. But when you are just purposely saying, in a world where everybody's connected, right? Like we're
Yes.
all gamers are
They're
cross-play.
even doing cross-play
Yeah.
among like online playing.
Yup,
Game-
cross
which is
progression, cross everything, right?
Gamers are a delicate balance.
Well, no,
Well,
that's
it's-
great because
it's
it's
true.
making it about the consumer,
Yeah, that's
right?
what it's supposed to be.
Gaming is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be like, hey, it's almost like if you really think about it, if you put it in simpler terms, it's almost like bullying, right? It's like, okay, so you're out. You don't get to play this.
Yep.
This is our playground, where it should be a playground for everyone who wants to play. How great would it be if we could just all buy the game for whatever system we want and be able to go in there and play together,
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah, but not everything is like fair.
In
And
life.
not
Oh,
everything
that
has
is-
to be
That is true.
for everyone. Like, it's also a business decision.
Well, again, and I'm not against that, right? But I just feel like when it's business is obviously still business, but in this business it is very consumer driven, right? So like on Twitter, all that stuff, when they do something messed up, like companies change because the people lose their mind. So they all go crazy, like saying things like Xbox and PlayStation have both try to do things that
Triggered the
got
community.
completely taken back within days because Twitter just lost their mind.
Remember when Xbox tried to raise their gold prices or something like that? Or
Yeah,
stock prices?
that was a
People flipped out.
that was a silly thing
Little pay.
to begin with, but the point is they both have done it, but it's like what they're trying to do is keep it the way it was. Like they don't want to evolve, they don't want to move past it, right? Where Xbox is kind of leading that charge of like evolving and moving past it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have exclusives. Like I said, doesn't matter, but it's like they're purposely trying to completely take these things away. Like Xbox has a lot of console launch exclusive, meaning it'll be like, all right, the game came out, it's on Xbox, but like 3 months later,
They'll share.
6 months later, the game goes wherever.
That's
it
just
goes.
completely stupid.
Like Xbox is not locking people down forever. They're just saying if the biggest impact is when the game comes out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like, all right, boom, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, you're staying here, and then you go.
Well, they did.
PlayStation does it for like years.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
They
Like
still
Final
do it.
Fantasy 7, people still waiting.
So essentially, if you ever want to touch the game, you must buy. It's not like when a movie goes to theaters and you're like, I don't want to go to the theaters and I don't want to, and I don't want to sit there, whatever. And I'll just wait till it comes out
Yep.
digitally or whatever and buy the movie.
It's like no,
You don't have that
to buy a
choice. You have
PlayStation.
to wait, years and years,
Or-
and by then you don't even
Yeah,
want
you
to
don't
play the
play
game.
anymore. Exactly. Like Final Fantasy, I would have played it if it came to Xbox. Like I was like, all right, I'll wait a year. I could do that. It's not that big of a deal. But
It's
then it
not
just kept going, and it's like, all right,
Bye bye. Life has moved on and
That's
moved
it.
on. And the thing is that games come out fast enough, often enough that it's such a small amount of time to stay lingering in that moment of like, oh my gosh, I didn't play it, I'm missing out. And I do believe it is a business decision, but it's also a business decision to go ahead and share these things because potentially you could make more money that way. Right? Because if everybody's playing together and entertaining each other, maybe the people that have that one system, right? If you have just one system, maybe you buy the game just to play it with everybody else. Like you can have a different system than I have, right? But if we can play the same game together, we're both gonna buy it if we wanted to play together, right?
yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
think that it's a matter of like they're evolving, but PlayStation just wants to keep things the same because they can't control the situation the way they did before. A lot of these games, like Final Fantasy, like the market that we're in today, that game was being made years and years ago before Xbox started blowing up again. Right, like when Final Fantasy was being made,
was a
when they
reveal
signed the
summer
contract with
2015.
Sony,
It was a
Xbox
different
was
time.
down in the dumps. You know, like people weren't
Buying the
buying,
games
like,
much.
nobody was buying an Xbox. It was like so low. But now the tables have turned, and Xbox is popping like crazy, and they got Game Pass. Like if Final Fantasy knew, like if Square knew that Game Pass was gonna pop off the way they did, they probably would have did something. Same thing with Forspoken. Another PlayStation exclusive. Same thing with Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, 16.
These are all games that were being made and signed contracts before Xbox started popping off again.
Agreed.
So even though we're seeing it now, these contracts were already signed
Years
way
ago.
before.
I mean,
you know,
Xbox is doing better when they the Xbox Series outsold the PS5 in Japan because Xbox sells like dirt over there. So
yeah. I mean, it's not overall. A lot of people bought PlayStation 5s when they first came
out.
immediately, but on a weekly basis, they've been doing it, and Xbox has been the market leader in North America for the last 3 quarters.
Oh wow.
And I
So
guarantee
they've been outselling the PlayStation here in where we live for the last 3 quarters.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you it's because of that Series S. It's ridiculously cheap, and you get nearly next-gen gameplay, and you can play all that stuff. It's a very smart decision.
I mean, it
So-
looks like next gen.
When is Street Fighter 6 coming out?
No exact date, but 2023.
All right. Let us know in the comments below if you are picking up this game, if you're excited for it. I don't know. Are you guys gonna play it?
Probably.
Oh no.
If it comes to Game Pass.
All right. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, all right. Okay, on to the next topic. 2 characters from the popular game MultiVersus, LeBron James and Iron Giant, are banned from the EVO 2022 MultiVersus tournament, in which they are deemed too overpowered for the tournament. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm not firsthand familiar with those characters. I played Multiverse a little bit, but I didn't play as them, so I really don't know what makes them so powerful. But if the community has found a way to kind of like abuse their power,
Or hack.
then take it out.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be a fun tournament
Experience
to
for
watch.
anyone.
you
No.
know?
It's not
Or for-
fair
it's-
tournament.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching like back in the day when they first started doing tournaments for different games. You would see the same people fighting the same people because they know that person is the most powerful person in the game. You know, a lot of players these days, they min-max so hard. Like they play each player to the max to know like all the intricacies, and once they know it, if there's a loophole that they're gonna use, then that's what they use.
I mean, come on. It's human nature, right? So if you're in a tournament, obviously, if you know that this is a much easier way to play and it's going to lead to you, winning, or it's an unfair on your favor, wouldn't you do it? I think we all would, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, we're going to the tournament to try to win. But so if they already know, the good thing is that they know that this is not fair to do, right?
Yep.
So they're aware, they're taking them out so that it could be a fair tournament for whoever's into it, whoever wants to. Now, I don't know how they do this. This is like a live tournament for people to see, players go up.
Esports.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a huge thing now. So there's
Okay,
people
great.
millions of people who just watch people play Smash Brothers, people play Call of Duty,
Okay.
Halo. They have tournaments for everything.
That's great.
So it's pretty cool. I mean, I would never watch it because I'd rather play the game than watch people play the game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who do.
I find it boring to watch it, but it's very esports are extremely popular. It's even on ESPN, I'm pretty sure now. So
I mean,
That's great.
essentially, the sport ones, right, can give you the illusion of watching an actual game.
Madden, FIFA, yeah, I get that.
Maybe that's why those are so popular.
Oh yes.
You would think that they would just, nuke the power of those 2 people so they balanced
Yeah.
out more. You know what I'm saying?
So that you can play,
So
yeah.
you could play them. But I guess maybe there's a group of people who just want it as is when they're playing the regular game.
Well, listen, there's like the fighting games, Tekken. There's the characters that fight a lot faster, like you had mentioned before. They corner you, you're just doomed, right? And it's kind of like that's potentially made for the people that don't want to sit there and learn all the combos, right? You sit there and you kind of can still play without
I just
feeling
button
like
mash.
yes, without feeling the structure of the combos. For
Do you
the fighting.
remember in Tekken, like Tekken Tag, what was his name? Jack. He's like this big, like that big military dude that's like a robot. Like who would ever? I don't know who would want to play with him. He was too slow. Like
Well, that's what they tend to do. Even they do it with Smash Brothers, right? The characters that have very overpowering movement, they make it slower to even it out, right? So
Weight class.
Yes. So the faster characters, even though they hit you much faster, and you kind of don't get an opportunity to go ahead and slowly swing in, it doesn't take as much of your life, the playing life.
Yeah.
As
So you hit them a lot.
So
but
you
it
hit them a
takes
lot,
more
but
hits
exactly, a lot more
Yeah.
hit, a lot more energy. Where like if they get in that one hit, half the life is gone. It's like game over.
Like if you play as Bowser in Smash Brothers, someone and he hits you, then that's a lot of
That's
that's a huge percentage. But if you play as Pichu, who is extremely fast, but is so weak he hurts himself when he hits anything, that's pretty pathetic.
That's funny. You guys, I know you play with Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she just falls asleep.
Yeah.
You're like, wake up, Jiggly!
There's a professional
She's so
Smash
cute,
player
though.
that uses Jigglypuff and destroys everyone. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
She's adorable. I mean, I guess it's all learning how to play, right? Know when to block, take your moments, and
Or just be Kirby.
or just be Kirby and eat everybody else, right?
Never fall because you can float forever.
There you go. I always fall though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and I'm the guy who mains Crom, so, okay. There's that. Okay. So, we've got more topics coming right at you. Toys R Us reopens in 9 states through Macy's around the United States of America. More locations coming soon. What do you guys think about that?
It's fake news.
Toys R Us, it was so cool walking through Toys R Us. It was nothing but toys, and it was, for kids, and you go over there, and it was a exciting event, right? So it was a bit of an adjustment to move on to, like, going to order online, right? But then parents realize, oh, shoot, this is much easier than going to the store and having your kid pick everything that they see, right? Because as a kid, you want everything you see. And having to, like, shut it down, or like just you only get one thing, you only get 2 things, and then you still walk out with 5-10 things that they want, and they're still not happy because they wanted 30 things.
That's such a bad thing.
But no, but I think that they left a big wide space where Target and Walmart has essentially become the places where you go and you say, okay,
Right,
there's a
toys.
toy section.
Yep.
Let's
Even Best
go.
Buy has a
Even
toy
Best
section.
Buy,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
that is true. You go, there's a smaller toy section than walking through a store, but it's more contained. So you can essentially go and pick up other things and say, okay, well, come on, let's go pick something over here. And it's less overwhelming than saying, okay, we're going to the toy store. Let's pick everything up.
Yeah, Target's humane. Like, they have their toy section, and they have collectibles even. If we're older people who like to collect figurines and collectibles, not toys. I swear they're not toys.
So the only thing that this makes me wonder is, did they do it online first?
To see how it
And,
picks up, right?
It was popular, so like, okay, now we're gonna go into stores and see how it goes, or did they do it online and they're like, oh man, nobody's really buying it, let's go into stores and see if people are gonna care if they're there.
I don't know, but it certainly brings in the same aspect as Walmart or Target, right? It's going to become a section at Macy's. So if you're shopping and your kid doesn't want to go, right? You're like, okay, but once I'm done shopping, we're going to go ahead and stop by the toy section. I'll grab your little toy. It's a way to keep kids.
I feel like it's demeaning
What do you mean?
that Toys R Us is just a little
Shop around the corner.
corner in the
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you guys think that it would have been much cheaper to just open a toy store
Maybe.
and not
I
pay
think the
for the
problem is that
name?
people don't want to go, just like you said.
Just a toy store.
Nobody wants to go to the toy store
Yes.
because the kids are, crazy. That being
Nuts.
said, I feel like GameStop was in that same position.
GameStop as well
were doing
sells toys, essentially.
collectibles.
They have some,
That's the only reason they're still there.
Like-
Because the collectibles. And
Yes,
I don't know,
that's
if you
true.
go to a GameStop, 50% of the store is pop figures. So
well, pop figures, they have the Squishimals,
Well,
right? They have some, yes, they
they
have
know
some
that
actual toys,
they know
plushies.
that games is not just about games anymore.
They're also
Games-
selling clothes at
Games is a
GameStop.
culture now. So now they sell clothes that have game stuff on it. They sell the figures. They sell collectibles. They sell PC stuff. They
And
sell-
you know what I like? GameStop is also making their own like clothes. Like it says GameStop, the t-shirts, the sweatpants, hoodies. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's neat to see these things kind of go from like they never die, but they were in a horrible place. Like, I was 110% sure that they were gonna shut
they
down.
were 110% gonna shut down, but
I'm happy they did it.
The world rallied behind them and basically scammed the marketplace to the stock market to inflate the price of stock.
Their stocks.
And it never came back down. You know, it came down from the highest point, but you know,
it stayed up there.
It stayed
That's
up.
cool.
So that's what happened.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, and it's not even just video games anymore. You will go and you'll find like the Office merchandise or like I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff
Well,
now.
it's
There's
pop
like Rick
culture.
and Morty, Jurassic Park. There's like I've seen a Sailor Moon and shit like that. Like they just get crazy now. Like Mickey Mouse was there. Like I don't know.
I
You just
think
find
the
whatever.
biggest thing that brings these stores is it's like you said with the PlayStation staying and moving on from a different time, right? We all have to move on and adapt to where we are. And I think adapting to price match is a huge thing. You go to a store and if you see something you want, but you're gonna pay $20 less somewhere else, or if you order it online and have to wait just 1-2 days to receive your item, why wouldn't you pay $20 less for it? But if you're at a store and you see the item and you say, well, is this much somewhere else? Do you guys price match? And they do price match. Well, hello, you're back in business.
Yeah, I don't know. Toys R Us refused to do that. Like they just said, hey, we're giving you the price. You better pay that price. Like I don't know.
Oh, not you better, but if you want to buy it from here, this is the price you'll pay. And then again, it was a different time. Not everyone was price matching. GameStop wasn't price matching. Best Buy was not price matching,
Nope.
right? So
Because
I
they
don't.
weren't as pricey as Toys R Us.
No, they
Yes,
were
like,
pricey. Like
pricey.
games, that was the big thing, and that's why GameStop was taking a dip, right? Because Walmart had their games for cheaper. If you went to Walmart and then you go and pick up whatever else you need from there.
Yeah.
You order it on Amazon. Yes, you have to wait a little bit longer, but guess what? You pay less, and that became the main attraction. So
Yeah.
Toys R Us coming back. What do we think? Is it nostalgic to see the big Toys R Us sign and walk through the stores through Macy's, and then boom, there it goes, the giraffe, the big loving giraffe that we all.
Nah, it's not gonna be like a giant logo. It's just gonna be like a little like, hey, that's Toys R Us right there. It's like a little shelf.
I don't think so. It might be a nice little section because Macy's did have a little toy section. It just didn't have a name. Some Macy's did have it already.
Yeah, it's a department store, so you'll find a lot of things there. I don't know, in Canada, I think they
I
have little
think it's
mini
Macy's way of
shops.
just saying, hey, we have toys here.
Correct. And with
Yeah.
a catchy name that maybe people will want to come and see it, right?
Yeah, see, they're hoping the opposite. They're hoping people go in there for the toys and
And
be
then
like,
buy some
"Ooh,
clothes,
there's
maybe
clothes
some-
on here."
A shirt?
Some other
Wow,
things.
I needed a turtleneck. So yeah, I don't know. I remember when that place was shutting down. It was so sad. You go in, everything
It was. Oh my
like,
goodness,
yeah.
that is true.
shelves were wiped. Everything was gone except in the game section. There was like a shelf of like 15 copies of Sonic and the Black Knight. That'll make anyone run away. But yeah,
It was very nostalgic to see the stores shut down. It was like, oh my gosh, Toys R Us gone? Are you kidding me? Like that's such a big deal to not have anymore. But I think we all got used to not having Toys R Us around anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think before Toys R Us was gone, we all got used to Toys R Us not getting it anymore.
We did not get used to not seeing not seeing Toys R Us. That was a big hit,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
But
we weren't going
we
into
weren't
it.
going in enough, obviously, to go and buy what they had.
yeah. I mean, Toys R Us, it existed. That's what we thought back then. But you know, now it's like, oh, Toys R Us, it still exists,
Toys
sort of.
R Us with video games. Oh my gosh, the Skylanders were popping at that time.
Remember when we went to the city? They had that huge Toys R Us in
Oh my
Times
God.
Square.
Oh, New York City.
That was there
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, now
With
it's
the
in Old
Ferris
Navy.
wheel and
Yeah.
everything.
Let's talk about a series that's gained a lot of popularity. It might be one of the most popular, well-received animated series of the 2010s. Bluey. Yeah, Bluey Season 3, the first half. It's here on Disney+. Sort of. You see, there's a lot of controversy that went with it. And Bluey already has an episode that's been banned called Family Meeting due to inappropriate content. And Bluey has already had 7 censors throughout the 25 released episodes of Disney+. Now, normally that would be a blessing, but even parents are starting to feel patronized because Australians tweet about it. Look at this scene, and parents think that they're being literally patronized by Disney, and they even have a petition now to bring Bluey like the original versions to Disney Plus, because some of the censors are ridiculous, like so petty. It's not like, why would they even censor it?
So
What do you guys think about it?
So why was this particular episode censored?
Family meeting. I swear it might be the silliest reason why something would be censored. Is apparently like the dad like farted or something like that near like Bluey, and
So
Bluey's like, what
he
do
was
you
like
do and all that.
near the bed, and Bluey was in their room, and the dad got up and farted, and he farted on Bluey.
And then she's like, hey, you farted. He's like, no, I didn't. And then she's like, oh, yes, you did. Then they go to like pretend court and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't
You
see the
saw it?
problem with that.
Yeah, I saw the
you
episode.
can
It was
pirate
really good. I don't understand why they took it out.
And
So is that really the only thing that happened? Like,
That's
what-
it.
So-
like nothing inappropriate.
Yeah, that was literally the only thing that happened that was like inappropriate. There were 2 farts. It was just that one in the beginning and Chili at the end.
That's the
When
same
she because they refer to farts sounding like furniture moving,
Okay.
and she got up out of her chair and she farted and
That was a
she
chair, I
moved the
swear.
chair.
She blamed it on the chair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that I'm with Disney on this one.
Huh?
Yes, because kids pick up a lot from cartoons,
Especially Bluey.
especially Bluey. Kids want to play every single game that they see them play, and they expect the same exact reaction from the parents, and then also they expect the parents to be available just like Bandit is all day to do these things. So that alone is a very big deal. And now they're teaching them not only to, I mean, if they see someone, if they hear the fart, right? And then on top of it, they do it on someone. So the Bandit farted on Bingo, right?
Bluey.
Or Bluey. So the kids are going to find it funny, and they're going to think that it's acceptable to go ahead and fart on someone, on someone's face, or I assume it was the face because of the height
Yeah, it was.
difference, right? So
They really talk
I'm
about
with
that,
Disney
yeah.
on this. Listen, for the sake of comedy, yes, it may have been funny, but kids pick everything up. And kids, what they watch is what they might repeat because they saw it on TV and it's funny. And that's okay that they do that. But then with that, I am really happy that Disney's taking their stand and being a little more responsible with what they're putting out.
That's what it is. Like this show is not marketed to adults and teens, right? It's marketed to small children.
Correct.
Now, like Disney, like most Disney movies, their movies are marketed towards small children, but there's a lot of background detail that adults and young adults can see it and still be engaged and find funny that goes over the kid's head, right? Bluey, just like you said, is greatly impactful to these kids, what they want to do, how they want to do things, and it's up to Disney on their platform to make sure that what they're letting out there is acceptable. So it's one thing to show games that kids want to copy because they think it's funny or fun. There's also acting inappropriate.
Yes.
And here, maybe we're in Australia where it's from, maybe they don't find that inappropriate. Maybe it's a different situation to them. But
Maybe
here,
they do and they're still okay with it being on the cartoons, but
here it's not. I mean, there's plenty of cartoons that are like that, right?
Yeah.
But though the show's like that, meaning if you decide to let your kids watch that show, you know that the show's like that. Like it just has that. This show, Bluey's not like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's one random episode, but that one random episode will have a lasting impact on these little kids who will find that funny. Start doing it at home. Start doing it at school.
oh my goodness, yes.
It'll be ridiculous.
Yeah, but they
I know.
know that they have like older children and parents watching it, so it wouldn't cost them anything to put the actual Bluey on the security one, like the one that has the password.
Yeah,
But in
but
the adult
parents
section,
don't
Yeah, the
know
adult
that,
Mhm.
right? So
Parents
like a
may
parent,
not know that.
Well,
Some
well,
parents
no, a
do.
parent, meaning a parent's not going to know that one episode exists, right? So when they say, "Okay, guys, go watch Bluey," they're not going to be like, "Oh, there's a reason." And the whole point is for kids, right? So I don't want to have them watching Bluey in the adult section. And then Bluey finishes, and then they put up it goes to an
R-rated content.
an adult movie or adult show, right? They're not supposed to see.
Hey,
right?
if you guys like Bluey, you'll definitely love Logan.
I mean, but that's the thing, right? That's why it's separate, right? So Bluey is not in any way, shape targeted towards adults or teens.
No.
So it should not be in that section. But there should also not be inappropriate content that can affect. And maybe, honestly, they might look at Bluey as a special case versus another show might have that same joke and they just let it be because the cultural impact of that show is not anywhere near Bluey. Everybody knows Bluey. All these kids love Bluey. They're just infected by it.
The point. Dora never ran around farting on anyone, right?
I don't think so.
Ni Hao Kai Lan, right? The Ni Hao didn't go around farting on anyone.
The hell up.
Like the Wonder Pets,
I
you
don't know,
never saw.
Peppa Pig.
Oh, Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig is clean as a whistle. Like,
Listen,
nothing
Peppa
ever
Pig is a fantastic cartoon, as well.
Yeah, for the kids.
And I like the way they carry themselves. Like I like.
Look, every
I like
show
the
has their niche, and Bluey's show obviously has a lot to do with the family dynamics of, having the parents be really involved with the kids and imagination, how these kids think of all these random games and how they get invested in it, right? So, it has its place, it has its purpose, and it has good episodes, but Disney has to be responsible for what they put on their channel.
And they have been. Even their old movies, they are there was a lot of smoking, a lot of
they put
violence.
the
They put the warnings that this should not.
time,
Yes.
and that there was a lot of culturally insensitive things
Yes.
in this, when it was at that time. So yeah, they have to do what's right, and I know there's a lot of people who have this thing against censorship and
I
let
agree
us
with that.
decide. But it's most of those people
It's just a
who
wonder.
feel that way probably don't have kids of their own and probably don't see that type of impact that how kids can be.
Or maybe
Well,
are
we like to
okay
look at
with
it.
their kids seeing that stuff, but it has to be okay. So if they release the episode and this started happening, right? Kids are running around thinking it's funny to fart on other people because they expect the same reaction that they saw on the show. Okay, so if this starts to happen, who's gonna get the backlash for it?
Disney.
Exactly. The
Well-
parents at home, but what are they gonna do on Twitter? What are they gonna do on social media? They're gonna go and come at Disney.
That's what I'm saying, to bring both.
Yeah, I mean, they do that sometimes. Like, they had a DVD release, a special edition on Target, where you could get the first 2 seasons in a big pack, but as a bonus feature, you get exclusive Australian versions of certain episodes.
There you go. If anyone wants to see it that badly, either search the episode or go and buy the DVDs
What
or
I find funny though is that the little kids who watch it,
Can't pay
they have
for
no, they have no idea that the episode is missing. It means nothing to them, right?
No,
the
that's true.
episode doesn't matter. No kid is sitting there saying, they took out this episode. The show is for small children, yet grown people are crying that they took out an episode about farting on the kid.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes,
Isn't it
that
sad
that's
that
crazy?
grown people, young adults, teenagers, and grown-ups are crying that they took out one episode out of 25 episodes?
And that's just half the season,
It's
right?
only
You
half
said
the
half,
season.
right?
It's about
Yeah.
telling the truth.
I don't know. I think
Okay,
that...
it's not telling the truth. It's about.
What? No, I'm talking about the episode.
The
episode
You can
that
talk
they
about
know.
telling the truth
No.
without having somebody
Right,
fart
that's
on
true.
somebody.
Also, it
Because-
How
does
would you
reveal...
feel if life lessons came to you and some person was like, they just walked by you, farted on your face, and like, this is a life lesson. It's a life
You would
lesson.
lose your mind.
my
I'm
God.
saying
I'm teaching
that
you how
Bluey
not
was
to
in
lie.
there really
No, I agree with Nina. This
Wait,
shit,
no!
It was me! I did it!
I'm a piece
farted
of
it
No!
on your face!
No, Bluey was
Right
in the
when you
room
yawned.
because She was using the tablet.
she was in a room where it happened, where Dave did it. You know.
No one else.
so-
was in the
No one
room.
else.
But yeah, I think that there are important things about it. I forgot some of my points, but I think that one, I mean, I really forgot. No,
It's okay.
I think
Take a
that when it
second.
comes to old movies, I believe in no censorship. Because the way I look at it, if you pretend this stuff didn't happen or these stereotypes weren't there, how will there ever be change?
They're not
Well,
pretending that it's not there.
I don't necessarily agree with that because
They are
you don't-
selling the season with the episodes in it.
What I'm talking about is what he was just saying, that without seeing the problem, how can you change the problem? Well, if by nature you don't act that way, right? Those things that were bad, right? You don't act that way without being exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. The problem was the original exposure. So to keep it for keeping its sake, well, guess what? Young people who didn't know that you would even do that stuff or that people did that stuff will now be influenced by that stuff and possibly do the things that they're trying to stop them from doing, right? So I don't think, so like Disney putting those warnings are for a parent to say, I don't want my kid to see smoking because there's not smoking on regular TV. It used to be, but not anymore. Cartoons used to have smoking in it. They don't have that anymore, right? Because regulations have stopped that. You can't promote that stuff out there, okay? So when they're doing that, they're saying, hey, parents,
It's up to you.
this is, I want you, you probably saw this movie, but I'm reminding you, when you were a kid, you saw this movie and it had smoking in there. People used to start smoking at the age of 14 or 12 because they watched the cowboys on TV.
They thought it was cool.
Smoking. They saw the commercials of the cigarette commercials
Yes,
with
they
famous
used to.
people.
Oh my goodness, I
Yeah,
forgot.
this
They
was
used
all
to
there.
have commercials
They
and stuff like that.
marketed it out. That's marketing. If it's in the show, it's marketing.
Yes.
Okay? So if they show a character drinking alcohol, kids will think, wow, that character's cool. That character drinks alcohol. I want to drink alcohol.
Yes. Or that character is smoking.
Yup,
I wanna
wanna
do that.
smoke. I want to do that. Right? That's why
I want to be
it's-
cool like that.
Exactly. Now, back in the day, because people didn't want censorship, they wanted to do whatever they wanted, they didn't care. And they just put it out there. And then, well, you know, if you let your kid watch it, well, no, we didn't know it was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
get it.
that's the problem, right? So as much as it's nice to think of, creative integrity, which is fine,
We have to be responsible.
We
That's the
have to be
bottom line. We
responsible.
have to be responsible. We have to understand the consequences or the effect that these things can have on children. And yes, before it wasn't there, but it affected kids in a certain way. So let's see what we can take out to make the next generation better.
Yeah, I
Right? Yeah.
remember
absolutely.
in Bluey season 2, I think, there was another episode about Bandit. He was eating sauerkraut, and in Australia, he wasn't supposed to eat it because he was allergic to it, but he was eating it anyway.
Oh, yeah, they
So
literally
they
rewrote that whole episode.
Yeah, they rewrote it.
I'm glad they
Yeah,
did
because
because
that
there are
was-
people there are little kids that are allergic to peanut butter or allergic to
It might-
something.
That's a
and
point
they
I've
think-
heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
they might say, well, who did it? Bingo or
Bandit, the dad.
Bandit, the dad. Oh my
I
gosh!
remember
that.
So
Yeah.
if the dad did it and pushed through, maybe I can do it and push
Right.
through.
that's
Yeah.
what makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
when dad is the one who's doing the farting, right? Like,
He's the
He's the
dad,
father.
right?
He's supposed to teach them right or know what's
Yeah.
better. And he's doing it. So if he can do it, then anybody can do it, right? That's the way they think.
Yeah,
That's the way
I think
kids
that. Yeah, I understand. It's kind of weird because in season 1, they definitely let a lot more slide. Like stuff that, like, if they want to take things out now,
They
why
didn't know that Bluey was going to have the impact it had, and that's what I said before, right?
Mhm.
Some other show might have something in it
And it'd
that
be okay.
that they leave in there because nobody's watching that show, or very little people are. But when you have something of substance, like something that has a big cultural impact, you have to be aware of that, right? You can't live in a bubble, right? Bluey has a cultural impact that it puts out there every time it's released, right? People were chomping at the bits to watch it. People were trying to watch the Australian version illegally so that they can experience it because they couldn't wait till the new season came here, right? So it's like you have to be responsible in this world, and I don't want to think that my kids are watching something and then they come around the corner pretending to smoke a cigarette or pretending to drink because they saw a character
on someone's face
because they saw a character doing it on the show that they like, and it's for young kids.
Yeah.
Or with an allergy and coming to eat whatever they're allergic.
Well, I think if they knew that Blue was gonna be so big, they definitely would have done more editing to season 1, like when Muffin says that she's got thongs on.
In
They're
Australia,
referring to the sandals.
yeah, in Australia, thongs are sandals.
Yeah, like
but,
one of the kids said that to someone, but they didn't point at the sandals.
The thing, actually, the creator said he was so shocked. It was almost funny when he realized that thongs in America were female underwear. He was like, "What?" Like, you couldn't
See, so
believe it.
that was a mistake, but farting is farting the same everywhere, right? We can all agree that
Yeah.
a fart is a fart, and doing it on someone's face, it's
Wildly inappropriate.
wildly inappropriate.
I mean, Bluey, they really let things, like, there's even an episode, like, they want to censor family meeting, but they had an episode, Early Baby, where they pretend one of their friends had, like, a baby, and they had to keep it from dying because it got out too early or something like that.
Oh
So,
gosh,
you know,
that's
okay.
yeah. See,
But
that's
like that, but that's what I'm saying.
that's
like,
too far.
but that
I
was
believe.
season 1.
Yes.
I mean, to be
Right,
fair.
so again, we're already kind of past that point where in season 1 they didn't know the impact it would have, so it doesn't matter when it comes up. What happened in season 1 was before it became relevant, so they didn't know it was going to be big. Just because Australians thought it was big doesn't mean we would think it was big, so they just put it out, and it got its audience. But just like anything else, once you have an audience, you become mainstream. Once you become mainstream, there's different expectations of you, right? So that's why things get censored.
You have to be responsible with what you put out there. It's that simple.
Yep. And you have to know your audience. So it's understandable that they're going to censor things that are targeted towards little kids. Even if adults can watch it or teenage people can watch it and find it funny, still, if it's targeted towards small children, you have to do it correctly. Just like when you make a YouTube video, right? If it's for small children, you have to put that it's for small children, and they're going to regulate you based off of the fact that you put in it for small children, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just the way it works. And what we think is acceptable here is not the same as every other country that's out there.
It is not the same in every household as well, and I think that is the big deal, right? So to look at something and say potentially, even though some people may be okay with it, is it okay to put out there for little children to see? And if the answer is no, you know, it's okay for those that really are okay with it or really want to see it, go spend the money, buy the seasons, or find it
Pirate it.
somewhere. Yeah, find it somewhere. Not that they should, but if it's that big of a deal,
There's
it
a way.
should
if
not
they really
be.
want to see
There's
it.
a way.
Yeah, people have come up with methods to watch them.
Yeah, I don't want
I
to
don't think anybody can
suggest. I don't
argue
think.
that they don't want that if like you don't want your kids sitting there watching something that you don't approve.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of new seasons, a popular series, Cobra Kai returns September 9th, season 5. What do you guys think
All
about
right.
this Netflix series?
Netflix coming back with Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai normally comes out during the
January
winter.
time.
Yes, January time, and it's really cool that it's coming back. So, what did you guys with Cobra Kai? What did you guys think of the show versus the movies?
I never seen any of the movies. No, I might have seen the new Karate Kid newer with Smith, what's his name?
Smith.
Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. But I seen a little bit of that. But I never seen the OG original trilogy.
So how do you feel about the show?
The
Are
show,
you enjoying the show?
excellent show. I think it's my favorite Netflix series.
Okay, so Cobra Kai is coming back with season 5 on September 9th. And normally they come back during the winter time, January or so. And now they're coming in on September. I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see how the new season's going to be. It's normally like 30 minutes episodes, about 10 episodes or so. So it's really easy to just watch it over the weekend because they leave you in such a cliffhanger that you just want to see what's next. Excellent show, by the way.
I think
enjoy it.
it's smart to move it out of January, bring it into the fall season.
Yeah.
Where like
Christmas
all
around
the
the
big
corner.
stuff is coming and people are wanting to be indoors a little more, start it earlier. And that way it'll last the whole time, right? So you get people early who watch it, people who wait a while, then they watch it in October. You know what I'm saying? You have
Yes.
more time.
Yeah.
Versus the New Year is so hectic, it's so busy. New Year coming, you're watching it great, but you
Not to
have-
mention-
New Year resolutions,
Oh, yeah,
and you're
resolutions.
busy for that first month trying to get it
Oh,
done.
New Year's resolution: watch Cobra Kai season 5.
There we go.
Yeah, and also it's smart because like if it's by the holidays, then I'm sure kids are gonna see it and want like action figures or merchandise that they put out.
Oh, that's true.
They do sell
That
merchandise.
is very smart. If you release the season now, if they make any toys or any merch, it could be for the holiday season.
They actually already have the toys out. So if you put out the show, then kids start looking for the toys
Yes.
that are out.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
Excellent decision.
Oh,
to
yeah,
move the
That's
show.
probably why. Honestly, what you just said is probably the reason why they did it, because now they have toys out. So it's like you have to get people hooked before
Yes.
it comes out. And they have the bundles with the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, those are really
Oh
cool.
yeah, and
They're
yeah,
awesome.
they're getting more, public with it. What do you call it? They're getting higher on their marketing. Okay, guys. So, the My Hero Academia movie that released in December of 2021 is finally hitting home video and digital platforms on August 28th, 2022. All right, that's pretty exciting.
Yes, I've seen the first 2 movies. I'm
Yes.
excited to see the third one.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. So finally, it takes them. It takes a long time for them to go from theaters to DVDs or
Yeah.
to disc.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. After some complications behind the scenes, it finally came out on Blu-ray. So that's pretty good.
I do appreciate though that every time that they release a movie, they have a Walmart exclusive, which comes with normally a pin.
A fake pin, yeah.
Yes, and then Best Buy tends to have the
Steelbook.
Steelbook, which are stunning. The artwork, it's just beautiful. I love it so much. So the movie's releasing, and there's a new season as well coming out, correct?
Yes, season 6.
Season 6 is coming out on October.
October 1st, 2022.
Does the movie tie into the season?
No, it has its place in a timeline, but you don't have to watch any of the movies if you want to understand it. Like the Demon Slayer movie, that's necessary if you want to understand what's going on. But with My Academia, you could literally never watch a single movie. I know people who never seen the movies, but watch the show and understand everything you need to.
But what if you don't watch the show? If you don't watch the show, would you watch the movie and think it's a good movie?
I mean, all 3 movies tend to recap a little bit of what was going on before then, but very briefly. And you could like it. I think that you like it more if you've seen the show and understand what's going on a bit more.
So as a
Oh,
movie
because the show
franchise-
has an in-depth with the characters. I've never seen the actual show. I've seen the movies. I've enjoyed the movies.
Oh, okay.
So I guess the show actually gives you a nice background of the characters, and then I know also they make the comics. So they're up to number 30 or
30 something, I don't remember exactly.
Yes. So I can only assume that the comics go even further in depth with than the show.
Oh yeah,
And then obviously-
there are parts that they even get into the show, but like they even talk about one of the villains' fate, which they never actually mentioned in the show at all. So
So
it's,
basically, you could be like a different. So depending on how you like to consume this, you can have wildly different understandings of this of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like if you're a movie girl, like if you just like watching the big movies, you'll have one perception of it. If you only watch the shows, you have another perception of it. And if you only read the comics, you'll have a different.
Now, I know the comics are much further out in the story. Are they making the comics as it goes, or are these books like...
the comics started in 2014, and then the show started in 2016. 2 years, so they already had a
they're
lot.
taking from the comic to make into the show, and then from the show they're branching out into the movies.
Majority of the time, when they make a series and it's based on a comic, it's because the comic was successful and like, all right, this deserves one. There are rare occasions where they make them side by side, like Akira, but most of the time it's because something's really popular, and they decided to do it.
Now you mentioned Demon Slayer, and I have seen season 1, and then I watched the movie. I was kind of annoyed because season 2 starts with a breakup of the movie, so they split the movie into episodes, and it kind of took away from it being a movie, essentially. Was like, I thought it was such a cool thing. They made the movie on the side, and it was cool to feel like, oh shoot, I got to see the movie, but I didn't know that you'll just be able to see the movie broken up into episodes. So I wasn't happy with that. But the show itself is very nice.
Yeah,
very well put together.
Yeah, my friend saw both the movie and the kind of series recap, the 7-episode thing. He said the show is definitely better because they reanimate certain parts to make it look nicer, and they even what's it called? They even add extra content, like add a little more backstory to some of the new characters in the movie, or some of the least expanded upon. So that's good. Okay, so we've had quite a few movies come out in these past few
weeks,
days. So yeah, let's talk about Day Shift, a Netflix movie that we actually saw quite recently, and I gotta say I was pleasantly surprised.
I was
thoughts?
too.
Day Shift was really good.
Day Shift was great. A lot of action, great action with some really cool effects. Jamie Foxx is in it, Snoop Dogg, and I have to say, James Franco was hilarious.
Very funny.
I loved his role. It was very entertaining.
And for being like a vampire type movie, they did it really well, where it wasn't
Cliche.
It wasn't cliche, but also they didn't spend, like, they weren't trying to scare you. It was more like they were vampires, so you saw the action, the fighting, it was really.
It was very well made. Yes.
Yeah, very well made.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I already thought it looked pretty cool, but I think that, seeing the movie, it's definitely,
Well, I think when I saw the trailer, I didn't think it was going to be that good. But
I liked it more than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm. Much more, yes. I was a little skeptical. I saw it because it's a Netflix film. It's a Netflix movie, and I saw it, and I was like, I don't know about this, but I'm glad I got to see it. Natasha, too, I believe that's her name, did very well. She's from Home Economics. You know that show with the 3 siblings?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yes, that was
really,
the villain,
really well.
the main vampire.
Oh, wow.
And she did well, and the movie was great.
Yep,
Yeah.
and of course, Snoop Dogg, the star. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is the star, but Snoop Dogg stole the show, as some might say. Yeah,
For
he was
me,
pretty
James Franco stole the show for me. It added, again, we're talking about a vampire movie, and they did not try to make it creepy. The action scenes were phenomenal, and I thought everyone did well, but his comedic side in the movie just gave it that extra dimension where you felt much lighter from the topic that the movie was about.
It was unexpected. I didn't know that they were going to go that angle, and it was very good.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, another movie we saw, Luck, an Apple TV Plus original movie. I did not think I was going to like it, but it was not bad when we saw it. It was pretty good. It was alright. It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty deep, enjoyable. I liked it.
I did enjoy it. I thought the animation was great.
Oh, it was very nice animation.
It kind of zoned me out for a bit. Some of the animation.
It was really well done.
I was like, oh, this is so cute and catchy. I felt really drawn into. So the movie was great. I really enjoyed the animation. It was beautiful, right?
Yep.
Is this like Apple's first Apple TV movie, like made by them, that's animation, or no?
No, it wasn't made by them. It was Skydance. It was supposed to be a
Oh.
theater movie, but after COVID, a lot of movies started going to streaming services.
I mean, I think that's really cool. If you already have the streaming service and you're paying for it, you should be getting exclusive movies or not just going directly to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
That's
almost-
much more popular that way.
Yeah, it almost felt like a junior Pixar movie in terms of its storytelling, and it's pretty decent animation.
You guys enjoy the story?
Absolutely. It's like
like
it
the
was
story.
a concept of like heaven and hell.
Essentially,
Yeah.
yes, and yes, the good and evil,
Yep.
the
Good versus bad, and
good versus
like
bad.
the perception of it, right? Like there's people who are like holier than thou, and they believe that they're better than other people because of what they believe, and then it's not that clear cut.
It's not. And so essentially what the movie shows is that it's all perspective, how you see things, right? If you're lucky or unlucky is essentially what you do with that and what comes from it. Appreciating everything for what it is, right? There's always a bright side. There's always something you can take from it.
It reminds me of Inside Out. Joy and sadness and the whole thing about the emotions. How Joy is always obsessed with the positive side. But basically the whole thing is that, yes, there's always a positive side to everything, but you have to accept the sadder emotions
Yes.
to be truly happy. It
Yeah.
takes the sun and the rain to make a rainbow.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love
So,
that.
yeah.
I think the movie and like Inside Out and this one show that it's what you make of it, and what you put your investment in and feeling and thinking is what you get, right? Because it's like people who are lucky tend to stay lucky, right? People who are bad luck, they tend to have bad luck because they live in that thought. They live in that feeling.
And let's face it, even if something that is not so lucky happens or quote unquote bad, something bad, there's something good in there too. No matter what, sometimes things that are not so lucky happen for a reason to put you in a different place or a different direction in which you're supposed to be in. Sometimes we need to kind of embrace it and just find the good in whatever unlucky or bad thing happened, right?
Absolutely.
Did you
Did I?
Enjoy.
take anything from the movie?
Yeah, well, exactly what I was kind of talking about, where I feel like it makes it even puts it more into perspective that what you desire, like what you want to get out of life, is what you have to focus on.
We think of
right?
it this way, right? You put a smile on your face, you start feeling, even if you're not feeling so great, you start smiling on the inside, right?
That's right.
It's all what you shift yourself and your mind into. The mind is such a powerful muscle, right? Your brain is such a powerful muscle, and it dictates how you feel. And
Absolutely.
if you tell yourself, I feel good, even if you don't feel so great, or this is okay, and I'm all right, I feel happy, and you start feeling that way. And that's how we should all start the day, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
I agree a lot.
Like, it's this thing where, like, you can't have good luck without bad luck. Like, if you're going for a job promotion, like, two people are going for a job promotion, one can get lucky, but the other one not so lucky, but they both can't be lucky because they both can't get the promotion.
Yes,
Yeah, but that's also perspective, right?
Maybe that other person's not supposed to have that job. Maybe that
Exactly.
other person is supposed to have a different path. Maybe that job didn't happen because something bigger is coming. So that's a perspective.
Sometimes the bad luck leads you to the good luck.
So it's
Well-
essentially is what we're saying is that there's no such thing as bad luck, and it's all perspective. That wasn't for you. That wasn't meant for you, and let's find what it's meant for us.
Sometimes you think you want something, and turns out that that's not
what's right for
what
you.
should have worked out for you. Like famous people who want to be famous and they do all this stuff to be famous, and then
They don't
they're
become
unhappy.
in-
They're
in
miserable in their
anything.
lives.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
listen, sometimes what's not for you, it doesn't play out because you're not going to be happy in that space, or that's not what's meant to be. And with that, we're going to roll right into the our quote of the day, right? So our quote of the day is No one ever injured their eyesight by looking on the bright side. Right? Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome?
Yes, a banger of a quote.
Yes, look on the bright side always. There's always something to smile about, something to feel positive about, even on something that's not so positive. Like this happened, but let's look on the bright side. No, nothing is not going to hurt by shifting your direction, right? So no one ever injured their eyesight by looking on the bright side. If anything, it just made us all a little happier, feel a little more positive.
Unless you're looking at the sun.
And feel a little better.
That's right.
All right.
That was a wild, insane roller coaster of emotions and opinions. I must say that this was a successful podcast. Wouldn't you all agree?
I agree. I hope
Great episode.
I hope you guys had as much fun as I did.
Yes, I agree. All right. Now, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Madman